Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Nandita from Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Bangalore, wearing at USN 1BE 21 EC054, guided by Manjunath M. Now, let me say about the Constitution of India and the necessity of the country. At the first, what is the Constitution of India? The Constitution of India is the supreme law of India that the document lays down from the framework, democratic fundamental political code structure, producer and powers and the duties and the government's instructions and set of the fundamental rights and directive principles and the duties of the citizens. It is the longest written constitution of the country on the earth by the B.R. Ambedkar sir, the chairman of the drafting committee, is widely considered to be its chief architectures. As you see in the picture, it is the longest written constitution in the world. And the Dr. Ambedkar was the chairman of the constitution of a drafting committee. 26th November is considered as the Constitution Day. Now, let me tell you about the importance of the Constitution. The primary function of the Constitution is to lay out the basic structures of the government according to which the people are to be governed. It is the Constitution of the country which established the three main organs of the government, namely legislature, executive and judiciary. The constitution of the country not only defines the power allotted to the each other three main organs, but it is also significantly make a clear democratic and the responsibilities assigned to each of them, and it is effectively regulated the relationship between the organs as well as the relationship between the government and its people. Tell you the number of parts and articles and the schedules and the amendment. The Constitution of India has the 448 articles in 25 parts and in 12 schedules, and there are 104 amendments have been made in the Indian Constitution up to Jan 26, 2020. And the very first amendment in the Indian Constitution was made in 1950, and there are 448 articles, 25 parts and 12 schedules and 104 articles after 2019. And now let me tell the brief history of making the Indian Constitution. At the end of the 19th century, the country demanded to be involved in the government and put an end to a future and oppositions. Thanks to the role played by the Indians supporting a British in a world war and the supreme legislature body and United Kingdom and the British Parliament introduced the Government of the Indian Act 1990, and which is received by the royal approval on the December 23rd of the same year, and the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was appointed the head of a drafting committee on the August 28, 1947, which one objective drafted permanent and organized by the contribution of India. The committee went back to the roots and referred to the Government of India Act 1935, and 141 days into the working, and the first drafting of the constitution was submitted on the assembly on the November 4th, 1947. Now let me tell you about the most important part of the Indian Constitution, that is a preamble. A preamble is a Constitution of India, present a principle of an constitution and indicates the source of an authority. It was adopted on the 26th November 1949 by the Constitution Assembly and came into an effect on 26th Jan 1950, and that day we celebrate as an Republic Day of India. It was amendment during the Indian emergency by the Indian Indira Gandhi, where the word socialist and secular were added, and the preamble was written by Jawaharlal Nehru in 1946. It contains a tenth highlighted in the objective of an resolutions. Now let me tell about some of the words in a preamble. Okay, we the people of an India, having a sovereign resolve to the constitutions to into the sovereigns and socialist secular democratic republic and to the source of the all the citizens. Okay, now justice. Justice is a social, economic and political. Liberty of a thoughts, expression, belief, faith and worship. Next, equality. Equality of a state and of the opportunities to provide among them all. And the fertility and assuming the dignity of an individual and the unity and the integrity of a nation. And in our the Constitution Assembly, the 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopted an act by giving and to ourselves this constitutions. Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Why does a country need a constitution? Now let me tell you the why does a country need a constitution. To the most of the countries in the world have a constitution. The constitution serves several process. The constitution tells the fundamental nature of our societies, and the constitution helps us serve as a set of a rule and the principle that all the person in a country can agree and upon a basic of the way in which they wanted a country to be governed. Okay, now let me tell you the Indian constitutions and key features and let me explain about them. Now let me tell you a detail. First, federalism. This refers to the existence of a more than one level of the government in a country. In India, we have government and other state levels and at the center. And the Panchayat Raj is the third tier of the government. Next come the parliament form of an government. The parliament form of an government is the Constitution of India guarantees the universal adult suffrage from all the citizens, and the people of India have direct role in the electing their representatives. Okay. Next, the separation of powers. According to the Constitution of India, there are three organs of an government. As I said before, there are legislative, executive and judiciary. Now legislative. Legislative refers to the elected represent by the people, and the executive is a small group of the people who responsibilities of an implemented laws and the running of an government, and the judiciary refers to the system of a court in India. Next come a fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution as you studied in your lower classes. That is the first fundamental right is right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religions, culture and educational right, and the right of the constitutional remedies. Now, directive principle of the state policy. The secretion of designed by the member of the Constitution Assembly to ensure great social and economic reform and to serve as a guide to the independent Indian states to the institute law of a policy that helps to reduce a power of a matters. And the last key features of an Indian constitution is an circularism, and the Indian constitution stands for an circular state. And a circular state is one of the which the state does not have an official promote any one religion as the state religious. Now, let me tell you the number of parts and articles and the schedules and the amendment. The Constitution of India has the 448 articles in 25 parts and in 12 schedules, and there are 104 amendments have been made in the Indian Constitution up to Jan 26, 2020. And the very first amendment in the Indian Constitution was made in 1950, and there are 448 articles, 25 parts. At the last, I would like to give the conclusion of the Indian Constitution. The Constitution of India is an interesting document, and it has proved to be a working constitution as it has successfully withstood many challenges from the past 17 years of an independence, and the Indian judiciary is a powerful and independent, and it is a guardian by the constitution and the rights of our people. Thank you guys.